Yes, what is going on, people? Welcome back to Near Post Podcast. I'm your host, Peter. My co-host is Dermot, as always, and we're joined by the two boys from Real Ball Talk, John and Jill. How you guys getting on, John?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Obviously, not a good result on Saturday for us, and we're gonna get into that, I'm sure. But yeah, man. Hope you guys are all good as well. Us on.
All good. Hope everyone had a good Easter, but we'll get straight into that game, will we? Because just terrible. I see you shaking the head there. Do you want to go ahead, Jill?
What, Joe, on the game?
Yeah, go on.
Where do I start? I'm gonna tell you now, yeah. We have a lot of waste of space. I'm not even gonna go into the coaching stuff because I'm gonna back Arteta. And with this, it comes as a shock. I know it comes as a shock because John is very much Arteta out, and we speak every day. We argue every day. It's not a day we don't argue about Arteta. But for some reason, it's like that girlfriend. The boys say, "Oh, she's not good for you." I saw him going out in the cinema, going for drinks with the boys. I see her around all the boys. My mate's got naked pictures of her and everything. I'm just like, but I still love her. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see Arteta. But yeah, man, look. When it comes to Arteta and everything, I'm still gonna back him, and I'm sure we're gonna get into that. But as a performance, as a whole, as a team, that was pathetic, man. That was pathetic. I think if Jota started yesterday, it potentially could have been 5 or 6 more. He would have bagged a hat trick or maybe more. But that guy is ridiculous. And why Klopp didn't start, I don't know. But he's such a good sub to bring on. But from us, man, I don't even want to speak about Arsenal, man. I'd rather speak about Liverpool if I'm honest, because we are just pants, bro. We are pants. And I'm sure we're going to get into it a bit more, but I don't want to speak about Arsenal. I just want to talk about how good your team is, I like the young centre-backs that you guys got. Trent's back. I think we can say Trent's back. He had a statement. He made his statement and he came through. Robbo done his thing, as he always does. I always said, Robbo's better than Kieran Tierney. I've said this. I've backed it all the way through. And I think from yesterday's performance, I know Tierney came off half time. He was injured and everything, but I'll back it from the start. I think Robbo's better, but, we can get into it as we go on. If I have to give ratings, I'll give you guys between 8 and 10s. And ask between -3s and 3s.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary there. Remember the thing we did with Choose on the Friday? We were hyping up Jota to the hill. Well, I was anyways, telling my Arsenal mates. Yeah. There was that Tierney, like we mentioned it about on Friday as well. Tierney's just too injury prone for you. I think if he wasn't so injury prone, he'd be nailed on captain. But I can see why he hasn't got it because he has to play to kind of get the armband, but just on like the thumbnail is Arteta out question mark. For me, I don't know how he's still in a job. If he wins that Europa League, I'm not saying it's not fluke, but it's kind of just papering over cracks. He's going to finish mid-table. Like these are Arsenal. These are just so bad on Saturday night there, John. What are you saying?
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet. Someone put out a tweet saying the fact that Arsenal missed Xhaka is not a sign of how good of a player he is. It's a sign of how bad Arsenal are of the club. And I think that statement summarized it perfectly because we did in a way miss him, and obviously Saka, Smith Rowe, and everything else. But like Jalil said, he was right to point out Liverpool because I did think Liverpool were very good, especially in the second half. It's a lot more like your old selves from last season. You had a good pressing. I feel like you guys kept the ball warm. Fabinho in midfield again, showing why he should have been playing in midfield probably a couple of months ago. So yeah, but from Arsenal's point of view, we were just flat out terrible from the first minute to the last. We didn't have a good spell in the whole game. And when you look at our team, it wasn't like we had a defensive lineup. We had Ceballos and Partey in the middle, and then we had a very attacking 4. But we literally were pegged back from minute 1 to minute 90. And it was just embarrassing to watch. I felt, like you said, Tierney, too injury prone. He hasn't been consistent enough to really be compared to Robertson. But obviously, Arsenal fans like to debate things. So that's always going to be a debate where it's possible. I think, Jota came on, scored 2. Salah could have had 2 or 3. Mane's could have had 2 as well. He's still the one that looks a bit off form, Mane.
Yeah.
He still looks a bit off form. But yeah, it was just Gabriel played well the first 60 minutes, and the last half hour was just disastrous from him. Like Leno as well. I think a few questions have to be asked about him because I feel like he could have saved the first, and I'm not convinced about what he was doing for the second goal. He was not good like that. I'm not sure. So yeah, and then obviously that's without mentioning Travis Scott on the left. So I'm just gonna leave it there. We got Travis Scott as captain, and that's what we are right now as a club.
Yeah, people might say I'm negative. A lot of my mates do after the Liverpool game, but I wasn't overly impressed with our performance up until I'd say when Jota came on. I think it looked more Arsenal were so bad. It made us look like we're doing great. And when Trent's on form, he kind of makes the whole team seem a bit better because he's putting the balls in, he's putting them in nice position. He really came out with a point to prove, but nothing really stood out to me bar maybe Fabinho, Trent, and of course Jota. I thought the rest of the guys were a bit lackluster, especially Mane. He was doing so well taking his man on, but he kind of shits himself now in the final third. Like he's a shadow of what he was last season.
Yeah,
he embarrassed though. I thought Rob Holding was probably the worst player on the pitch. Like, remember you played City, and it was literally the same goal that Jota scored. Sterling, I think it was that scored. It was like the first minute, just gets in between, bang, header. And I remember, I was one of my best friends is an Arsenal fan. He was saying, "No, Holding's pretty good. He got that contract." I'm like, he had 5 half decent games. Man is absolutely useless. Like, he's shocking. Gabriel, I think Gabriel's just going to get worse and worse playing with them lads. Like Jaleel, what was happening? Even Chambers at right back had a bit of a stinker too.
Look, in my opinion, this is how it's going to go down. I stand by this. When Holding was playing well, he's playing well for what 6-7 games. And then was bigging them up and hands up. I was one of them. But this is the issue that Arsenal fans have, and I personally think I'm part of the issue as well. Sometimes when I'm seeing the light. Because you, like, obviously, Dominic, I watched the show on Friday. I wasn't part of the show, but you said about Kieran Tierney being injury prone. He's too injury prone. He needs to go as well, bro. I'm saying it now. I think the whole squad needs to go. Tierney needs to kick rocks, bro. Kick rocks, bro. Go back to Celtic and do your business. Do you know what I mean? Bob, you've got the good heart for us and that, but you need to kick rocks, Bob. Well, look, I'm comparing him to all the left backs. I won't compare him to right backs. Trent has had not the best season, but I will still have an underperforming Trent who plays every game than someone who can't even fucking get up every morning. Do you get it? Like, bruv, Kieran Tierney can go, bruv. There's no point having injury prone. This is what always happens with Arsenal all the time, bruv. We always have these injury prone players. Jack Wilshere and everyone. Oh no, he's one of the best though. Yes, he's one of the best. But was he there every game in, game out?
Diaby.
With injury prone don't make sense.
Yeah. That's a big statement. Kieran Tierney out. I know a lot of boys.
He can go. I don't mind. Let's get someone who can play week in, week out. They might not be on his level, but at least we've got consistency. And you can only get better with consistency. You can't get better by playing one sick game, winning 5-0, scoring a banger or something against West Brom, and then fuck off for the rest of the season. It don't make sense. Real Madrid don't have these issues. Barcelona don't have these issues. They always got 2 people that can play in the positions. Arsenal, what? I'm sick of it. What shit? What stupid? I'm not blaming Mikel. I'm blaming the recruitment team because you should know to bring in Bertrand. Was it Bertrand? Ryan Bertrand, left back from Southampton. At the time, you should have put him in because he's fit. He plays every game, week in, week out. Or bring someone from the academy. We always have this issue with injury prone. Kintini, he's great, but I'm not gonna lie. With all these injuries, to me, he's fucking shit. It's pathetic. You can't be half-hearted, injured all the time and expect to make it to the team. And that's for Holding and them lot as well, bruv. This is what I'm saying. I bigged him up. Look. I like him as a squad player, but he can't play week in, week out. Otherwise, Gabriel ain't gonna be good. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. But when they look at you, Liverpool now, how have you got all these players? I know you've had issues at the back, but you still got Salah who plays week in, week out. Robbo plays week in, week out. Trent hasn't been the best, but I'll still take Trent week in, week out, bro, because you know what he can do. We haven't got those players. There's not one player you can put a hand on. Xhaka used to be, Bakio Saka on the wing used to be the main guy who's been carrying us. But he's had poor games now, bruv. Who do we rely on?
Even Partey, I remember reading that Partey had like absolutely no injuries in his whole career, maybe like a few niggly ones here and there, like in his whole career. Comes to Arsenal, how many has he had, John? He's had like, what, 3 or 4 already? And they've rushed him back a couple times. I remember Arteta pushed him back in that North London derby when he was clearly gone, like not good to play. What's like, you seem to get these little niggly injuries. They just kind of happen throughout the squad. I know we've had injuries as well, but it's always seemed to be an Arsenal thing. Am I wrong there, or what's the story like?
No, you're not wrong. It's been going on probably about 12, 13 years. You can go as far back as Van Persie. Van Persie used to get a 4 or 5 month injury every season. Fabregas used to get a lot of hamstrings injuries at Arsenal. Diaby, Rosicky was always injured. I remember a famous Rosicky injury where Arsene Wenger came out and said he'll be out for 3 days, and he came back a year and a half after. So, you know, that's just been going on at the club for a long time now, and it's very unfortunate. And I think one thing that I think people didn't pick up enough is that on Saturday, Arsenal's front three was worth a combined, I believe, 180-something million pounds. And I think Liverpool's might have been about 100 million. That's before Jota came on. When Jota came on, if you want to make it the front four, then it's about 140. Now you look at it, that shows the importance of recruitment. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Liverpool buy Van Dijk for 75 million and people complain saying it's overpriced, but it's been value for money. We bought Mustafi for 35 million. We had to let him go for free, and now he's gone off to a relegation candidate, and he's been so bad for them, they've kicked him out already.
Yeah.
So I think your recruitment's been absolutely superb, and ours has been atrocious. So it's not just about spending money; it's how you spend it as well. And we've just done a terrible, terrible job at it. And I think if we don't win Europa League, we are in trouble. We are in big, big trouble because these owners, FFP is being relaxed as well. People are not realizing it. Yeah. FFP is being relaxed this summer. And a lot of owners, maybe even including Liverpool, will say, you know what, let's take an extra 50, 100 million out before FFP comes back. Our owner is not going to do that. So we are 10th. With Leeds United,
newly promoted. See, I think that's been a bit of an issue with us as well, though. You can see when there's only 12, 13, 14 top players, that doesn't really win you a league. You need that. You need that squad that City have. And for Arsenal, it's only going to get worse unless they take the finger out this summer. And they need to spend big. They need to spend big because they can't rely on these injury-prone players and then their best players all to be under 20. You know, they need to get something in. Like you're talking about ESR and Saka. It's hard to put that much pressure on an 18, 19-year-old. He's not learning off anyone really in there. In the camp, you can say maybe Aubameyang or whatever, but it's not a great role model. They need to bring somebody in to train these guys up. I see Adam says here, Arsenal potentially selling Saka at Liverpool. I'd say that's more just chatter, but still, something needs to be done. I don't know what position Arsenal owners are in financially, but it's going to be a lot worse if they don't invest this summer, I think.
I think there's a lot of investment that needs to happen because I feel like I'm going to be one of those fans, in regards to Spurs and West Ham who don't win anything, but you love their club. Because I'm never going to stop loving Arsenal. Let's be real. But when it comes to these players and everything, it's just not good enough. And I know you guys mentioned Partey as well. He's never actually ever been injured. And then he comes to Arsenal and he's injured. He's now going to be one of the players who's obviously good, like Jack Wilshere, but nothing's going to come of it. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to if you guys want to take Saka, he don't deserve to be at a shit club. He's too good. They're comparing him to Foden. Let him go to Liverpool and show his potentials with a club and bang out God knows how many assists and how many goals. But in all, I have to be honest because I know we're going to go here now. I'm not blaming Arteta on the way we played on the weekend against you guys. I can't blame him because the players that he has, I know John's got something different to say because we have this argument all the time. But I'm going to say this, yeah. Mikel has a 3 to 5 year plan. I'm not saying trust the process. Trust the process, my friend. but what I'm saying is, like, let's get it right. If we get another manager in, right, start again fresh. He could have to use the dead players that we have, and then go and then use them and go on, yeah. Whereas Mikel has brought in Gabriel, Partey, who else? Odegaard. I know Odegaard's not really staying, and a few other lonely players. But he's brought in actually players that we can see that can improve our potential squad. So that's saying something. This is what I'm saying. I'm not ready to get rid of Mikel, but we'll look at it on Christmas, see where we are in the league with the players he's going to bring in. And remember how many people we got off the wage bill as well. Having said that, that means potentially players are coming in. That's why, John, I'm saying we should back the manager. And I think you should back Arteta as well. And I know you don't like him that much, but just a process, my friend.
Yeah, I got to say, I agree there. Like, for Arteta, I don't think he's done anything massively wrong. It took him a while. It took him a while to settle in, but like realistically, if they get rid of him, who's going to come in, right? It's the same challenge. They have to come in. They have to get rid of all that dead wood.
Wait. I'm just going to cut you off there, Peter, right?
Right.
One sec. I've done a bit of research there. So
I like this.
Stats, man.
No, but like this is like, I'm not that big into stats, but this I can go into, right? Unai Emery's first 50 games, 25 wins. Arteta 21 wins. Arteta losses 16 wins. Emery's losses 30. Losses for Arteta 16. Loss for Emery 13. He's got a better win percentage. Emery, he got just to 5th. I know he got just to Europa League finally. I know he's got embarrassed, so that's fair enough. But Jalil, when Emery was sacked, do you think that was the right decision?
No.
Or like, were you like, no?
No. The reason why I said no is because I got upset after the UEFA Cup, and I was like, okay, I can, because look, with the whole thing, I was backing Emery, and I was just like, listen, just give him time, let him bring in the players he needs. I was just saying that because I think every manager deserves that. But when you look at how we lost to Chelsea, and we shouldn't be losing it. What was it, 4-1, 3-1? I don't know. I was even there, and we shouldn't be losing that much. So my thing was, I started to see the light why people didn't like Emery and the way we were set up. It was understandable because there were lots of defensive errors. So my thing was, let him bring in his defensive players. Let him get rid of the dead wood because it's still Wenger's squad. This was still Wenger's squad, bar a few others. So my thing was to keep him on. Now with Mikel, I'm still saying the same thing because I think it was a bit early for Emery to go. And I had this conversation with all the Arsenal fans all the time. But I think it was a bit too early, unfortunately. But I understand. This is one thing I want to let everyone know because everyone seems to think I'm blind to it. I understand what everybody says. This guy's got a goal. I didn't see nothing today because I didn't see anything either. Sometimes if the squad and the team's not laid out how it's meant to be, it is the manager's fault. Who else are you going to blame? But also, you look at the attitudes of everyone on the pitch. I looked at the attitudes compared to your players, compared to ours. I couldn't really blame Mikel. I can blame the way we were set up, but I couldn't blame him for the way we lost.
Yeah. Look at this comment here. Just the process took Klopp many transfer seasons to win something. Hendo, the only one there from the first time he came in. I think just a few other players, but he needs to get back and get rid of the dead weight. That is a challenge, right?
Colin, right? Colin, right. I know Colin. Colin's one of my better friends, yeah, one of my best friends. But Klopp came to Liverpool after beating Bayern Munich to win Bundesligas. Like Klopp had massive pedigree. He took Mainz up to the Bundesliga. But like anyone that wins the Bundesliga and you don't manage Bayern Munich, like you have to be world. Like this is Arteta's first shot. I'm saying this like I'm not even an Arsenal fan. I'm just looking at this realistically. He should have never got the job in the first place. Klopp had serious pedigree. Klopp got the Champions League final with Dortmund. Klopp won Bundesliga's, German Cups. You know what I mean? Like John, where do you stand now on Arteta and just in general? Like, just say Colin's commentary. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I completely agree with you, to be honest, Demo. I think I understand Colin's point about trusting the process and it takes time, but Klopp is an elite is an elite level manager. Like you said, he proved it at Dortmund. He even proved it at Mainz to a lower degree beforehand. So he came in with pedigree. And I think that the one thing I would say about Klopp that is different to Emery especially, and Arteta to a lesser extent, is that Klopp came in and established his system of play straight away. He didn't care. First game, straight away, he didn't care. This is how we're going to play. And if you can't fit it, then at the end of the season, you're gone. Klopp was ruthless. As soon as it was time for people to go, he let them go as quickly as he could. Some took longer than others, but the process was underway. Same thing with Pep. Came into City first year, got them playing a certain way, realized Sanya and Clichy, you're not athletic enough to play fullback. Off you go. Get Walker in, get Mendy in. With Arteta, I've seen him adapt too many systems, and I'm sure sometimes we press, sometimes we sit back, sometimes we play quick, sometimes we play slow. So what is your system? If I had the definitive way of playing that I knew Arteta was doing, I said, you know what, I see what he wants to do. The players are just crap, which a lot of them are, and I'll say, yeah, fair enough. But at the moment, it genuinely looks to me like Arteta is learning on the job, and that's not what we need. Because
of course, it's his first job in management. So
exactly, look at the way he's treated Saliba. Why was he behind Rob Holding, Mustafi, and Socrates? No one can justify that, especially the way now he's playing. It looks even worse. These are decisions that Arteta made himself. He was the one that made Xhaka not go to Hertha Berlin and brought him back. He's the one that let Guendouzi go straight away after one incident. He's the one that was calling out Pepe and everything else. So Arteta's made a few decisions, and I'm not sure. I don't know. I think if we finish below 10th, in fact, below 9th, I think he's got only the Europa League can save him. Only the Europa League can save him. That's what I'm going to say.
What I think needs to happen, right? I think, the issue is Arsenal fans are relentless. Like, you guys are relentless. And I think Unai Emery was the guy if he was given the time. It does help Arteta that there is no fans in the stadium. I'm not sure if he's the man to take them there. But one thing that needs to happen, this isn't a 1 year, 2 year. Like, Arsenal want to be in the top 4. And saying this honestly, as an outsider looking in, I think they're about 3 or 4 years away from that. At least. When I look at that team and I look at the board, everything, I think they're a couple of years off that, and I think the expectations are just a bit too high. But they always will be at a club like Arsenal, at a club like Liverpool. Our expectations are always high. That was the issue. You say about Klopp, yeah, he came in. He's a fantastic manager, and he was already proven. He came in, it took him a few years, he got us back up to where what Arsenal need to do, need to settle down with a manager, take the time, get rid of that deadwood, because that is a long, long process, unless you get that influx of money, which I can't see coming at all. But for me, I just, like you said, John, about the systems, I've seen him play too many systems, and I don't think he really knows what his best 11 is. Same way, I think Ole doesn't know his best 11. It's looking exactly what Lampard kind of had, where some games they play quite good and they've a nice system, but then the next game he completely switches it up.
Yeah, that's the trouble for me. There's no lack of consistency, and I think now you're seeing it. He's struggling to choose between Lacazette and Aubameyang, so he's taking the coward's way out and playing them both. Yeah, they can't play together. They can't play together anymore. So you have to make the choice. And Martinelli needs to play. Even Klopp said it. He's a huge talent. He can't get more than 10 minutes.
It's a joke, man. It is a joke. Like, you can see the prejudice there as well.
Yeah, you can.
There is a lot of issues, and that Martinelli still doesn't make sense to me. He should be playing every game, in my opinion. That the way he presses the ball and does the business, his tempo changes the whole game as well for the whole of Arsenal. But just going back to what you were saying before, Peter, in regards to Emery and everything, I do think I do hear what you're saying. I said this to John as well when we started speaking back in the day, like maybe a couple of years, even before Emery even got sacked, or even before during the Wenger period, actually. If we're going to rebuild and go again with a new manager, it is going to take 3 to 5 years. I have to be honest with you. It's not going to take. Look, Klopp, quick fix. Klopp done it because he's proven. He's proven. Pep, proven. These managers, even Ancelotti, Proven. Look what he's doing with Everton. You know, he's doing really well with Everton. I know they're your rivals and everything, but he's doing well with them. You've never seen Everton that good in how many years? So these are proven managers, and I understand what Dermot and John are saying. Mikel is learning on the job, and I'm not going to be blind to say he's not. He's definitely learning on the job, and I think you've got to learn on the job, especially when you're coming fresh. But with Mikel, I don't know what it is, but he says there's this 3 to 5 year plan. I said to everyone, I don't think we're going to win anything. I didn't think we're going to win Europa. I actually thought we we're going to finish 6th, 7th with nothing, but we're rebuilding. To hit 10th, you do have to start questioning a few things. So I also when these guys call me up and saying, "Did you see Mikel? Do you know what I mean? Did you see the team? This is the guy you're backing." I understand where you're coming from because it don't make sense with the squad. It's a better team than Emery had, but yet we're further behind. It makes no sense to me. But what I'm going to say now is we have to kind of back him. He's not proven, no, but he can do something. And yes, he plays these different systems where you don't know if we're pressing, if we're sitting back, if we're playing fast, or playing slow. Why does he start abandoning and Laka together? It's a pussy move, he's pussied out. I totally agree, but he's testing the waters in my opinion. He's going to be here for 2 years. I guarantee you next year, if he stays, I don't know if he'll stay because the fan base is too powerful. Arsenal fan base is too powerful. Once it's Mikel out and once it gets out, it blows up. Sky Sports, BT Sport, everyone's talking about Talk Sport Radio, everyone's talking about all the social media platforms. Everybody's talking about it. He'll go. He'll kick rocks. Same thing happened to Lampard. Same thing happened to Emery. Same thing happened to all these managers. Virgil van Gaal, he just won a FA Cup, but the fans still wanted them out. Kick rocks. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, if the fan base, if we can just not back him, but just wait until another window and see where we potentially can go, then if we don't and it goes left, I'll be the first one to back the out situation. But for now, I can't, just because I know Rome weren't built in a day and there's no quick fix. I know Arsenal fans just want a quick fix. We want to go back to the top. But unfortunately for now, we have to rebuild. We have to get rid of dead wood and we have to bring in talent. Otherwise, we're going nowhere. And a new manager is not going to do that. Mikel's already started the process. Let's just follow it, man. It's been a year. It's been a year and a bit now. Let's just carry on and see where we go.
Is that not what, like, I listened to Arteta's interviews. He speaks very well and all that. He says all the right things. You can tell he's media trained and that, but he says the things, but who cares? Like, have you not hit, like, I think this is rock bottom for, I know these are still in the Europe and stuff, but people saying Mikel hasn't been backed. He hasn't been that badly backed. Thomas Partey 50 mil, Gabriel 27 mil. He got in Odegaard in January. Who else? Maybe I'm missing a couple. Maybe not. Willian at the I know Willian's been shocking, but at the time, some Arsenal fans were saying, "Okay, that's not a bad sign on the free." Didn't look too bad. I was saying it's not a bad sign. So that's four relatively good players there. Exactly. He got rid of a few players he wanted to as well. He didn't get made from coach to manager, so he was given the power. That's actually a big thing that kind of goes under the radar. So it looks like the Arsenal board have kind of put all their eggs in the Arteta basket, and because I think if this was anyone else, he'd have to be sacked. It's all right, John. What do you think? Are they just blindly trusting him, the board? Like,
just on that one quickly, you know how Arsenal fans keep saying Mikel ain't been backed. We're Arsenal fans. Mikel's definitely been backed. He asked for 3 players. Who I don't know who expected more. They were very honest and open with us, saying in June you're only going to get loanies, and we got loanies. They said in the beginning of the season we're all to get 3 players on free. We got Willian, and we managed to get Partey and Gabriel and a few others, which kind of hit our expectation because we were only expecting a few, like 2 to 3 players. So having said that, they've been very open. So all these, I hear a lot of Arsenal fans keep saying, "Oh man, if the board backs Mikel, maybe." Those are just deluded ones, Those are the ones that obviously are on my side. It's Mikel in, but don't see the bigger picture. He has been backed. There's a process you've got to follow, right? To get the money in, you've got to get people off the wage bill. Once that's all gone, you'll see the money stack up. Wait till the summer, see who we bring in. We might bring in people, we might not. I might have to eat my words, but it is what it is. But you have to follow this certain process. You get people off the wage bill, then you bring them in. But they've been very honest and open with us. So there's a lot of Arsenal fans saying the board ain't backing. The board has backed Mikel to an extent. Might not be to, getting this £80 striker, £80 million striker in or whatnot, but that can come later on. How could you expect that right now? Do you know what I mean? Especially where we are, we're not even winning anything. So where's the money coming from? We only got the FA Cup, and that's only a couple mil. God knows that can't buy a massive player. So it does take time, and this is what Arsenal fans need to understand. Things do take time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna move away from Arsenal because I can see you are sick of talking about them, bunch of cowards, most of them players. But looking tomorrow, we obviously have that massive tie, Real Madrid. I'll actually go Peter first because I think you were a bit too negative about our performance. I know Arsenal were pathetic. I thought we were still quite good on Saturday. Like, are you getting a bit more confident now tomorrow?
No, I actually lost confidence going into tomorrow defensively. Anyway, attacking, look, it was a good night out, and it's nice to get the clean sheet, but I just don't feel safe with them two guys right now. At the minute, I don't feel safe. Like, Arsenal posed no threat, and I was still on edge. And I know world-class players like Karim Benzema are going to make tools of these guys. It's that simple. Like, they are going to. He's like, you think of him, he's a big, huge presence. I think Mendy is going to cause a lot of issues bombing up. Like, Trent, he likes to play up higher. You seen, I think it was the second goal or the third one actually we got from Trent pushing in and catching on the mistake from Leno. But he's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to do that in the Bernabeu, because if he's playing up, like, Mendy will slip in behind because he's a quick fucker and he is very good attacking. So I think for this one, Klopp's going to have to go with a bit more of a conservative approach and just maybe get a draw out of it, maybe sneak a win, because you can't go in all guns blazing. Like, I know it's been a diminished Real Madrid team, but you still got to pay them a lot of respect, because they are, like, when you're coming off a game like Arsenal, this is next level. Madrid are going to be firing, and still. But if Ramos is out, which I say that is a plus, and for Jota has to start. He has to.
Yeah, I think we should go balls out for the away goals. Just make it a free for all. I think that we'll play better that way. Yeah, I agree with you about Benzema and Mendy and stuff from what I've seen of them, but. Like, I think if we can go try score 2 away goals, like maybe a 2-2 draw or something there, I think it would be a decent result. I know we can't fall back on the big crowd at Anfield because that's nearly a goal on them European nights. But I think a little 2-2 draw I wouldn't be too displeased with. Like, John, what do you think? What do you make of Madrid? They're obviously they're not what they were, but they're still in the Liga title race. They're still in this quarterfinal. Like, they still have to be taken very seriously.
Yeah, they do. They're definitely, especially teams with the pedigree that they do, you can never really rule them out, even when they're not at their best. They know how to win these type of games. But so do Liverpool, to be fair. And I think that's what makes it a very interesting tie. I think tomorrow might actually be quite a conservative game on both sides. I think Madrid are more conservative than people think under Zidane now that Ronaldo and Bale are not there anymore. He's a bit more like the controlled possession where you're keeping the ball, but you're also keeping the ball to make sure the other team doesn't have it type of thing. So I think tomorrow will be 1-1. I don't think Liverpool will lose tomorrow. And like I said, I think Liverpool will go through over the 2 legs. But I think key thing on both sides will be to be clinical when the chances come. I don't think there's going to be that many, but when they do, when someone has a period on top, they need to take it. And I think obviously you guys weren't really tested on Saturday, which is the unfortunate thing. But it's another clean sheet. Hopefully that gives Kabak and Phillips the confidence to say, you know what, we got Fabinho in front of us. Maybe we can do this. So I don't know. I think you guys will get a good result tomorrow. 1-1. I think it's a decent result away from home. And yeah, I think it'll be 1-1 draw tomorrow.
And big up to Rash, who's just joined in. How you doing, man?
What's happening, guys? You all right? Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
Cheers, sir.
Sorry about the late appearance.
No hassle.
All good, man. We're just gone on to the Real Madrid games, so you're after missing the Arteta slander, so to say.
Okay, did Arteta get it then? Yeah, from you guys. So he should.
No,
actually, Ross, just before I'll just sketch it right now. Arteta in or Arteta out? Just ask you.
I'm not as fickle as that. Like it won't be on based on one performance. Okay, because you got smacked up at the weekend by Liverpool, that you deserve to go. No, I just think it was such a lackluster performance from Arsenal. It was one of the worst performances I've seen them play this season. Liverpool was in control, total control from the get-go. Like there was just no participation from Arsenal. Their strikers, the midfield was overrun. Like they're just being dominated. We just got showed a lesson that day, and tactics was wrong. Team starting lineup was wrong for us, I believe, as well. With games like that, you need every player on the pitch. You don't need your luxury striker on the pitch trying to play a midfield position or a left wing position when you know that you've got Robertson going up and down the line, tiring you out. You're an old guy. We need a young guy in that to do that little role. Do you know what I mean? And have maybe Lacazette in the centre just to do what he was doing. But Martinelli would have been the more better option for that game. Do you know what I mean? For the type of energy that he brought on when he did, but for what we know him for and what was needed for that type of game, we knew Robinson and Trent. That's what they do. They go up and down the wing. They swing balls in. They test your defenders. Like they keep your defenders working. Do you know what I mean? So you need someone who's going to keep up with them, work just as hard as them, and put them under pressure for the counter attacks. Aubameyang's just not that guy for that type of game. I've said that. Maybe these are the type of games that he should be left out or just play through the center. Do you know what I mean? But never ever as a man that we need. Do you know? So I think the struggle's gone. We got that wrong. I couldn't stand the fact that Sabella started. I don't really want to see him starting or playing anymore, to be honest. I've said this for a few games now. I saw his name on the team sheet. As soon as I saw that, I knew it was going to be a problem. I just thought Liverpool just really outclass us, man. The two centre backs that I was worried about, they just weren't worried at all. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like they just look sound at the back. Their midfield overran our midfield. Now you can see people like Partey trying, but he just had no place in that midfield as well. He was getting overrun there. Fabinho was just amazing. Do you know what I mean? He just showed his class throughout the whole entire game. It was just such a horrible game to watch as an Arsenal fan. Do you know what I mean? It was just such a bad performance, man. I felt kind of like I was thinking about our interview as well before, and I was thinking, look at me talking about, I think we're the one who edge it and rare it. Such a mug.
Gabriel in the combined 11 as well. But
I know, and just like Gabriel ain't shit, man. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I just wanted to, I was really disappointed in the Arsenal's team performance, but we move.
Yeah, have to move.
Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? But I'm just gonna say here, I'm Arteta in, even though I'm not Arsenal. But if I had to pick one, I'm Arteta in. So I think we'll just, before we talk on it anymore, and before I just think
sure.
No, Peter's talking sense. Let him speak. Let him speak.
I've said it enough times. Arsenal just need to chill with the managers. It's going to turn into a Chelsea kind of thing where manager's in for a season and he's gone.
Where they win trophies.
Yeah, but
where they're very successful.
It's very hard, especially for these young players, whatever. Like the best teams stay for a couple of years with one system and they grow on that. So I think if Arteta finds a system that suits him, and that suits the play. That's for me, and I think they just need a faith in a manager for once.
All the best teams in the world sack their manager if it's not going well. Bayern did it with Kovac before Flick. Real have done it so many times. Chelsea have had God knows how many managers, and they've been one of the most successful teams in the world. Like, yeah.
Look, I'm going to ask this question, to everyone. Obviously, and John, I know where you stand already, and me and Peter stand, but Rash, they asked you a question as soon as you came in. Are you Arteta in or out? You got to pick a side, bro.
Decide and vote.
Come on, Rash.
You're the deciding vote, and speak with your heart. Speak with your mind. Put it into perspective, because these guys already said they're out. Me and Peter said we're in for reasons why Rome weren't built in a day, my brother. I can say speech right now, but I don't want to take the piss. So yeah, Rash, let me hear it, bro.
Come on, Rash. Come on.
All right, look, I'll be honest with you. I think the job is. I think it's too much for Arteta, to be honest. I think the Arsenal job, I think he's a good manager and I think he's got good tactics, and I think if he was given the time that he would establish a great team that can achieve multiple things like win cups, win leagues, compete, and so forth like that. I can see him being able to do this with a team, given that time, given the transfer windows, and doing everything that he wants to do. For Arsenal, though, what we need, I mean, we don't need to be finishing 9th and 10th. I tell you that much. Do you know what I mean? And I did say, look, if he kind of hits the 9-10s, then I would be saying, look, it's time for him to pack his bags at the end of the season, because he's had enough time to establish himself as a presence, as a manager, and for the team to start drawing out the results that we need. And there was that change, and we did do it. But the bridge between us and a Liverpool, for instance, is too far. And it's not even regards in player-wise. It's tactics-wise. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't got what it takes to be consistent against those big guys and be consistent against the... Not yet, anyway. I'm not saying, well, I want him out of the club now. I'm still saying, well, wait till the end of the season. Let's see where we finish. And I will give you a proper answer then. Based on... I'm Arteta in until the end of the season. That's my stance. Arteta in until the end of the season, and at the end of the season, I'll reevaluate that and whether I think if I want him for next season or not.
Can I just ask a question to everyone now, yeah? Because Rash just brought up a good topic. This was the last question for me. If Klopp took over Arsenal for this game that happened, and Arteta took over Liverpool, who would win?
Arteta.
Well, yeah, probably it could be Arteta. I think
No,
it'd be
it might
much
not be. It might not be.
No.
It's like that's an impossible question to answer. I think really, realistically,
I think Arteta will win.
It wouldn't be 3-0. Let me say that.
Liverpool's got a 10 times better squad than us.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. They don't. They don't. They
Wait,
don't.
actually, no, it's Julia, right?
No.
No, right, Julia, right? David Moyes has West Ham 4th, I think, 5th, maybe. If they win tonight, they go 4th. Who has a better squad? Realistically, West Ham or Arsenal? Who has a better squad?
Arsenal do.
And you are 5 places behind them. Like, and if this was David Moyes doing that had Arsenal 10th, he would have been sacked.
He'd be gone.
David Moyes.
If it was Emery, he'd be gone.
Exactly. It's because Arteta's Spanish. Always got good
player.
If it was Pepper Klopp, would they be gone? If it was Pepper Klopp, would they be gone?
I don't think we would be here if it was.
It wouldn't be 10th.
You wouldn't, man, and you know that. If they had one of those managers, we wouldn't be 10th. No way.
You know that.
Peter knows that as well.
Yeah, he's a comfort. I'm just gonna stick with it though for now. I'm gonna give him time. But
the thing is, I don't even have an emotional investment into Arsenal. Like, I like them or whatever, but like, I'm just looking at it just from an outside looking in, and that's just what I think. But fair enough, it is your club and that. But
I just feel sorry for anyone who takes the Arsenal job. For me, it would not be appealing if I was a manager, knowing the fan base and knowing the pressure.
It's a tough job. I can't lie. It is a tough job, and I think we've got a tough fan base, that's for sure, and a tough ownership group as well. So we just have to make sure we get the right one.
High demand with low supply.
Yeah,
there's no equilibrium there, man.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. So I think we'll move back on to Champions League, Liverpool, Real. So I'll go to you, Rash, because you're new on. How do you think Liverpool will face up in Madrid?
I actually think the same thing that I thought last time. I think they'll win. I actually think they'll win. Madrid haven't got all their best players. Liverpool haven't got all their best players. But there's the familiarity of the Liverpool team. They know how to play together. They've been playing with each other for a little while. They know how to win together. They've got success together. I think this Madrid is missing a few players. And some of the ones that are there, they haven't really been pivotal in winning trophies with them already. Do you understand? So I think Liverpool have got the mentality to win this game. They've still got the players as well. They showed against Arsenal that they can put it together. They showed that Jota is on fire still. Do you know what I mean? I just think if Madrid win, it will just be because it's Madrid.
Yeah.
But I don't think, you know what I mean? But
They'll grind it out somehow, maybe.
Yeah, and that's what it is. But in reality, who I think's got the real chance of coming home with the points, I think it's Liverpool.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thing, I'll just say this first.
Sorry?
One thing I think that's in our favour is, like Klopp said it in his interview, this is the first time we've had all the guys back, bar the kind of long-term injuries. If he looks on the bench, he's got Naby, he's got Jota. We have all of the front three, all them midfielders. Only missing really now is Hendo, Gomez, and Van Dijk, and Matip. But I think we could just edge it. But
in reality, those other players
it?
besides Van Dijk, you don't need them.
They're not as crucial as Van Dijk.
No, yeah. No, that I agree with that. To be honest, looking at as well, we'll give City a bit of recognition. Like I watched them there before our game against Leicester. That was so comfortable. I know it was only 2-0, but they dominated that. They've got Dortmund. I think they're playing tomorrow as well, so I won't get to see that, unfortunately. But where I think Dortmund was the perfect draw for City, the way Dortmund played, they can't defend at all. I know they've got Haaland and stuff, but I think City are going to absolutely spank them. Haaland might bag a goal or two, like just because he's Haaland, but I think that's one of the easiest ties City could have got. What do you think, Jaleel? Like, what? First of all, on City, obviously they spanked Leicester. Like, do you think Dortmund, they should have too much for them?
Yeah, man, I kind of changed my mind in regards to it before. I said that this was kind of a hard draw for City. I'm kind of changing my mind now. Just based off, City are just too good, man. They've got too many players to choose from in every position. And, I'll be honest, I don't really rate players like Mendy, and stuff like that. But recently, Mendy's been good, man. As a left back, I don't really see him as a great left back. That's the only position I'll say where they're lacking, if that makes sense. And that's the only position you can say they're lacking, because every other position they're smashing it. But even in that position, I think they're solid. Even with the other geezer, I'm not sure what his name is. He's quite decent and all. But if those two are your, I guess, weakest players, then you're laughing if you're City, because that's still a good team at the end of the day. I think it will be an easy win, man. You've got Fabinho back in the midfield. I mean, there's not many I can say that's better than Fabinho. Fernandinho, sorry. Fernandinho. There's not many I can say that's better than him. But
yeah, man, he's very underrated, actually. Man's a class act, like.
Yeah. Too underrated. Just to comment on that, sorry, Jay, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
When they was talking about how brilliant Fabinho was and him being probably the best defensive midfielder in the Prem, I was thinking, did you not see Fernandinho the game before this? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, he's amazing, bro. Like, quality player, but carry on, sorry.
Look, there's only 4 central defensive mid that I can say that's on par in the Prem, and we can go Fabinho, Fernandinho, and Diddy seems to be getting forgot about, and Granit Xhaka. So
you got me.
No, I'm playing. But those three players, that I think Fabinho sole pivot to Liverpool. If he's not playing against Real Madrid, they're losing. But you don't need. If you look at just going back. Sorry, I know we're going back to Liverpool, but just going back to Liverpool. If you look at how many tackles the defense makes last season, it was a handful. Why? Because you had Fabinho and Henderson, Wijnaldum and them, man, doing all the tackling, and them not do the sweeping and
the dog work.
Distribute. Do you get what I'm saying? And headers in that. So those are pivotal. And also as well, Fernandinho is very similar to that as a player. He can play centre back as well if he needs be. That's why he's perfect. He can pass and he just breaks down play. And obviously Ndidi as well. I think
he's a bit of a
top team.
Fernandinho's a bit of a cunt I mean that in a good way on the pitch. Yeah. He'll leave one in there, but while he gets away, he might get a yellow for it, but he'll leave it in there and he'll make that cynical foul when he needs it. That's just what he's about. Fabinho and Thiago kind of do that as well. They're kind of one of them that they could make 2 or 3 fouls, then the ref's going to book them. But yeah,
I call them classy C's.
Go on, yeah.
Because they do it. They are, you know what I mean. But they do it with class as well. Like, they do it with a matter of professionalism. Like, I'm doing it as a captain would do it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that sort of that behavior. It's not reckless. It's very calculated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and it's in the correct times as well. So I understand exactly what you're saying. But you need that in both of them, don't you?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's that wisdom.
Rob,
They know when they can get away with it, and they know when not to do it. Like,
Yeah.
and then they're looking a bit shocked, like, you know, Thiago leave one in. Yeah, Thiago's a bad tackler. He'll leave one in, and like, you know, that sort of way. He's just they know what they're at, them lads. Robertson's good for that as well. He'll mouth a bit or whatever, but he'll kind of only ever get a yellow for it at most. So it's not like it's rash. Like Ramos is good. Ramos gets a lot of red cards, but he knows what he's at as well. That's why he's such a big loss for them.
Yeah, like Granit Xhaka as well. Don't know why he's not laughing.
Yeah, like
Yes, stop bringing that guy, please.
Jalil, so just to say, Jalil, are you one of those guys that think that if Xhaka was playing, we would have had a better result?
No, the whole team's crap because you got to look at this. Yeah, I always back the defenders. Yeah, but if they're not scoring, if the strikers are not scoring, what's the point? I always say this. I think our shittest part of our whole squad at the moment, and I've said this, is our attackers. I've been saying this.
100%.
They're as bad as each other.
So,
I'd say, like, go on, yeah.
We'll get everyone to do our predictions for this Liverpool Madrid match. So I'll start off, and I think it's going to be a draw. Dermot, what are you saying?
I'm going to say 2-2. I said 2-2 for the Arsenal game as well. Hopefully I'm wrong and we win 3-0 again. So I'm going to say 2-2.
Jalil?
3-1 Liverpool. Easy as chips, mate.
Rash?
Well, I actually think this game's going to be 2-2. But if you're asking me who I think is going to win, if there is a winner, I'd pick 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay. And John?
Last but not least.
1-1. Yeah, I'm going with 1-1. I think Liverpool get their away goal.
I think it'll be a 1-1 as well.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah. Before we use played Prague. Like how do you respond in that game? I think are you away in the first leg, John? Are you away?
I think we're home.
Yeah, they're home.
I think we're home.
Prague aren't the bad side. They're not as bad as you think. Like they probably fancy their chances against Arsenal as much as you fancy them. Do you reckon you go through, sneak through, maybe?
Sneak.
I think we will go through. I just worry if we go 1-0 down, we don't have a good mentality to bounce back. We can't handle multiple setbacks. So, yeah, a little bit of that. So I would say, yeah, we should go through. But if we go 1-0 down, then yeah, it's gonna be hairy. Yeah, Slavia Prague are better than people think. They beat Leicester quite convincingly over 2 legs, and Leicester didn't make as many changes as people think. And then obviously Rangers, they beat them as well. And Rangers haven't been too bad this season. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I think we'll go through. But like I said, we've got Unai Emery waiting on the other side, and yeah, that's getting more and more worrying every day.
Honestly,
Mr. Good Evening.
Mr. Good Evening.
So I think, do you want to wrap it up there, boys?
Wrap it up there. One more thing I want to ask. It's Arteta again. If he's getting knocked out by Prague, surely Jalil. It's actually just Jalil. Really, he has to go. Yeah. He has to go. He has to go if he's getting knocked out. What are you saying? Have to get that one in there.
Look. I'm going to be honest with you. Are we going to win? I think there's too many injuries going on at the moment where we can win. And Partey, who's meant to be our saviour for the team, has done nothing, unfortunately. And as you said before, injuries are going to do you. You can't. What best player in the world has ever been injured during their season and had a good season or had a good career?
Kane.
Injuries will kill
Aguero.
You. Yeah, but Aguero, he's different grades.
We got names, bro. We got names. Don't ask us.
My point is specifically for Arsenal with your Diabys, your Wilsheres. They are quality players, but they just didn't cut it. Unfortunately, Rosicky, even though I think he was really good, but he had potentials he didn't even hit. So I'm going to be honest with you. With too many injuries we have now, I am worried for Thursday. I'm not going to sit here and say if we are going to win, we're going to sneak through it. And as John said, yeah, if we go 1-0 down, there's not one player in that squad who will pick up the ball and do the business and force it.
Yeah.
We've seen it maybe from Xhaka, not Xhaka, Xhaka. But the thing is, yeah, the thing with this, with the kid, he hasn't been performing. I feel like he's been burnt out, and he's very young. He's only 19. So there's issues here. We've got issues, and it's injuries, unfortunately. It's always been a thing. Now, if we lose and come out, unfortunately, Mikel might have to consider a few things. He doesn't have to go. He have to consider a few things.
He's not going to say it. He's not going to say it. You're not going to say it.
In reality, Slava Park are a dangerous time, and I even said that when the teams were selected that they were actually ones that I was actually hoping we didn't get. Yeah, but at the same time, this Arsenal squad should be able to beat them.
Nah, you say that. We got
no.
We should.
Look, we should be able to beat them. All right, we should. All right, I think we should be able to beat them. We've beaten better. Okay, we beat them better on the way there. All right. Look, we had. I think we had harder teams in our group stages than Slava Park.
You had Dundalk and Molde in your group, did you not?
We had no one. We've had no one.
Terrific teams.
We've had going up to the stage where we are now.
I remember Molde gave United a hard game a couple of years ago, didn't they? You know what I mean? But no, what I'm saying is this. I don't care about what we've been for. I just know Arsenal should be able to beat Slavia Prague. They should.
No, I agree. I'm
not saying that. I don't see them as like a City or a Madrid. Look, there's more than likely chance that we're going to lose. Injury or no injury, the players that we've got that are available. Because remember, Emma will be available there. We don't even know why he didn't even start or even was part of that team. Martinelli will be a part of that team as well. Still got Lacazette. He's still got Aubameyang. But if you look at the names in our squad, we still got But we've got a squad that has names in it. Yeah. In reality, we're underachieving. It's only because of the manager situation why we're getting a blight, because we're like, look, this was adaptation that needs to happen. But in reality, if we had a Klopp or if we had a Pep or even if we had flipping, look, we should be doing better than what we are. Yeah, we should be doing Brendan Rodgers. We should be doing better than what we are with the squad that we do have. All right, and that's just my thing. If we lose to Slavia Prague, I won't be able to see what type of excuse someone will be able to say to us losing to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand it being difficult, unless it's one of those ones where we've gone up, they're winning in the second leg. Yeah, they've tried. We kind of took them off the ball. They've scored one, and it's kind of flipped the tie on its head, and then they've scored another one, and that's it. We're out. Do you know what I mean? That shit happens sometimes. It's not nice, but it does happen, and some people do drop the ball. But if we lose over like a 2 legs and we're getting slapped up, yeah, bro, he's got to go because something is wrong. Something is clearly wrong. They're either not paying for him or something.
If I said to all of you before the Europa League, just finish on this, Europa League campaign start, you get a group that has Molde Dundalk, you get a poor Benfica team, you get Olympiacos, you get Slavia Prague, and you get Villarreal. Like, that's your route to the final. You miss Tottenham, you miss Man United, you miss AC Milan, you miss Ajax, you miss Roma. Like, that's one of the easiest paths to a final you probably could have asked for. So there kind of can be no excuses. I think we're running up there.
Yeah, and we beat Olympiacos, and they're better.
Yeah, no,
yeah, exactly.
We'll round it up there. They need to win. We'll leave it at that. I know you want to say it, Jay.
I'm going to save it until after the game. But look, I'm going to predict this now. I'm just going to give you a prediction for the Arsenal game, and I think Arsenal's going to win 2-0. But if in the first 15 minutes, I always change my mind in terms of the score. But for now, I'm going to say 2-0.
Yeah, you always have to see and wait for that squad to come out. Look, he might do what he done against Liverpool and just try out a shocking one. But right, we're going to leave it there. I know everyone goes sub to Real Ball Talk. I think their link is pinned in the comments and it's in the description below. But I know you guys have a debate coming up. Is it generational talents? When's that on?
Yeah, we got that on Wednesday. So we're just going to be ranking someone like the best 25 youngsters in the world into different tiers, whether they're a generational talent, world-class potential, great prospect, or like trend overrated.
Whoa.
That's a nice one.
You say
I
Trent's
love the way you slid
overrated?
one.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm
the way you
joking.
slid
I have to
that
put
one
that
in,
in
bro.
there. I have to put that in there. I'm just joking.
I just thought I heard that. I thought maybe I didn't hear that. I just seen someone like Joe Felix on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one. Make
Ooh.
sure to
Yeah.
check it out, guys.
Curtis Jones.
And if you're not already, sub to the channel. Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones
Oh,
is going to be a generational talent. I'm telling you that now.
There you go.
big
That's
stuff.
one thing we
There
can
you
agree
go.
on.
Yeah.
So look, you heard it here first, boys. Everyone make sure to drop a like and subscribe to both of our pages if you haven't already. What time's that on Wednesday, guys? Actually,
6:30.
right. So everyone make sure to tune in for that one. I will be anyway. So until then, guys, have a nice week and peace out.